You've maybe heard of this 4% rule where you take 4% of your portfolio every year, you adjust for inflation, and you're supposed to be safe for 30 years. But here's what most people don't realize. The 4% rule was built to help you survive retirement, not enjoy it. And in most real world scenarios, following it strictly means leaving behind hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of unspent dollars. If your goal is to pass on a legacy, that might be fine. But if your goal is to live well in retirement, especially early on, you need a better approach. The 4% rule assumes your only job in retirement is to avoid running out of money. But what if your real goal is to actually use your money, to travel, to enjoy time with your family, to say yes more often while you're still young enough to enjoy it? Strictly following the 4% rule doesn't give you permission to spend. It gives you a ceiling, one that was built for the worst case scenario. And that's where most retirees get stuck, because deep down, they're not asking, will I run out of money? They're asking, am I allowed to use it? That's a very different question, and it deserves a very different answer. Hi, I'm Ben Lockery, a certified financial planner and the founder of Lock Wealth. Before starting my firm, I spent a decade inside two of the world's largest investment managers, Capital Group and Invesco. So I've seen how portfolios are actually built from the inside out. And here's what I've learned. Confidence in retirement doesn't come from chasing a magic number. It comes from having a plan that shows you with clarity that you're allowed to live the life you've worked so hard for. The 4% rule was first introduced by financial planner Bill Bengen in 1994. His research showed that even in the worst 30-year period, a 4% withdrawal rate would prevent you from running out of money. But here's what the numbers actually show. If you follow the 4% rule over a 30-year retirement, you have a 90+% chance of ending with more than your starting balance. And in many cases, double, triple, or even more. Why? Because the 4% rule isn't based on your average returns. It's based on your worst case timing. The key variable isn't how the market performs over 30 years. It's how it performs in your first few years of retirement. That's called sequence of returns risk. If you retire into a market downturn, you may have to stay conservative. But if the market starts strong, you could safely spend more without risking your future. That's the downside of the 4% rule. It anchors you to the worst case, not the real world. So let's go back to Harry and Sally. They're both 60, recently retired with 1 million saved. Harry, the planner, he likes rules, structure, safety. Sally's the dreamer. She's ready to travel, make memories, and enjoy life now. At first, Harry leans on the 4% rule. $40,000 a year, inflation adjusted. It feels safe, predictable, structured. But Sally pushes back. She says, if the market's doing well, why can't we enjoy more now? Why wait until it's too late? That's where the guardrails strategy comes in. Instead of starting at 4%, Harry and Sally began at 5%, $50,000 a year. And then they set two boundaries. If their portfolio grows enough, they give themselves a 10% raise. But if it falls below a threshold, they take a 10% cut. It's like driving down a highway. As long as you stay between the guardrails, you're safe. You may have to tap the brakes now and then, but most of the time you can just keep moving forward. For Harry, it means there's still structure, still a plan, still protection against the unknown. For Sally, it means freedom. Permission to enjoy more now, knowing they'll adjust if life throws them a curveball. And together, they finally feel what every retiree deserves: clarity and confidence. Not guessing, not second guessing, just living. If you're wondering how much you can safely spend without fear of running out, or worse, fear of doing it wrong, set up a call with me. We'll walk through your numbers, your goals, and build a plan that shows you with certainty how to use your money, not just protect it. Because you didn't save all these years just to survive retirement. You saved so you could enjoy it. Travel, give, relax, explore, live. Harry and Sally now have a plan that gives them the confidence to do exactly that. And you can too, because retirement isn't about hitting a number. It's about creating a life you don't have to second guess. Let's build that life.